Everybody, welcome. Today is episode 36 of the Architecture Vogue Property Podcast, Property People Podcast, should I say. And today I'm joined by Boryana Chalakova, who is the founder of the Staged Homes company. So something a little different today. Boryana's not an architect, but she is involved in property, working with developers, architects, interior designers, estate agents. Boryana, you're a property staging business, is that right?
Yes.
If you want to kind of introduce yourself and who you are and the business, basically, to the audience.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. We do work with a lot of developers, as you said, and architects. So we are in the property sort of industry, and we love it. So my name is Boryana, and I'm the founder of Staged Homes company. We're based locally in Bristol, and we sort of help developers and investors and estate agents as well to maximize their profits on their projects, whether that's renting, renovating a property, selling a property, working on bigger developments as well. Some of them do Airbnbs and HMOs and other creative strategies. So our job as home stagers essentially is to be their strategic partners. We work with a lot of people long term, and we help them just identify pockets of values within their projects and maximizing their ROIs.
Okay. It's something different to me. Obviously, I've featured some of your work beforehand. Staged home business. You've been going, am I right, for 5 years now? Pretty much 5 years, is that right?
Correct, yeah. Yes.
But your background, obviously, you've worked with estate agents beforehand, and you've worked with developers and things like that. So what brought you to where you are today then? Talk about your background and how you started this.
So the way I think I'm slightly different from some of the other stages is the fact that I come from more of a property background. So I've worked for estate agencies and also for contract supplier company in London. So we'd work with, again, designers, architects, we'd supply furniture for to restaurants, schools, hospitals, that kind of thing, cruise ships as well at one point actually, which is quite interesting. And I am more drawn to the commercial value that staging brings rather than just the visual aspect of it, and design is a big part of what we do, obviously, as well. But our goal essentially is to make those properties more profitable and commercially viable, not just pretty.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest probably misconception about staging is just fluff or pretty cushions, artwork, that kind of thing. It's actually the best marketing tool that people can use nowadays, especially when everything's just so visual. Yeah. And where first impressions really matter online.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you work with developers, architects, interior designers, what stage of their process do you tend to engage with them? Is it right at the very end, or you go in from the start of a project? How do you tend to work?
It varies, to be honest. It's just the way people work is slightly different. We'd love to get involved at the beginning of the project. So sometimes when we do, say, show homes and, HMOs and that kind of project, we'd come in at the beginning, we'd work and support them with those important choices, finishing fixtures, layout. Sometimes we'd work with the architects just to figure out what the best layout is, so we can maximize the space, the number of beds we can fit in the property, and then take it all the way through to sort of completion with furniture installation and all the dressing for photography, and just so the property is essentially ready for market. Yeah. So it varies quite a bit, actually.
Okay, and then so you mentioned you're Bristol based. Do you work? Yeah. Where do you work? Across the country, just in the southwest, or across the south of the? Where do you tend to work normally?
We focus on the southwest, but actually the south of the UK and south of Wales is what we cover in terms of physical area. A lot of our projects are mainly in Bristol and London as well. Yeah. So these are the main main areas. We've recently started doing quite a bit of work in Cardiff as well.
Okay.
So we really enjoy that. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's closer to where we are.
Yes. Yeah.
So that makes things slightly easier for
Yeah.
us. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, I mean, London's a really good, vibrant market, as we all know, and it's
Yeah.
in completely different demographic as well. So
Yeah.
that's it gives us some variety there as well. So yeah, it's lovely to get involved into different type of projects, and
Yeah.
our sort of creativity and is tested all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, but all good. We enjoy it. We love it.
Absolutely. Well, you've been going 5 years now, and you're from what I see on LinkedIn and Instagram, what have you. You're kind of gaining more exposure. Does most of your work come from word of mouth then, or how do you tend to win business usually?
Yeah, the whole business has actually been built on sort of recommendations and word of mouth as well. So
Okay.
I enjoy being out in the community, meeting new people all the time. So I tend to do a lot of networking,
Yeah.
and luckily I'm one of those people that actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've recently decided to do a few other things as well, like presentations and just talks here and there. I go to some local schools and talk to children, and
Yeah.
just get some variety in that aspect as well, and just try and raise awareness. I think a lot of people actually assume that staging is not something that they can afford. And one of our goals as a company is actually to make it more affordable and to make it part of the regular sales process in the UK. And then that's one of our missions is actually to shorten the time people spent on the property spent on the market by half.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite ambitious, but we've seen it happening, especially with smaller properties.
Yeah.
2-3 bedroom flats and houses. It really makes a huge difference.
So you need to, your USP, as you say, you want to, your end goal is to reduce the time that a property is on the market. So I suppose whilst you're working with interiors and architects and developers, you want to then obviously go in at the time that the estate agent takes a new instruction, don't you? That's your aim.
Yeah.
So you need to be in front of them.
Much.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, coming from a country where I was born and raised in Bulgaria, and there you can literally find a property, visit it, put in an offer and buy it all within the space of 2-3 weeks.
Wow. Yeah.
You can just imagine my frustration when I
Yeah.
had to both buy and sell a property in the UK.
Yeah.
And I just can't get my head around still as to why it needs to take that long. It's just I'm very passionate about finding ways to actually shorten that process.
Yeah.
So that's been my mission.
And that would be, it can take several countless months, can't it, to sell a property. And if anything that you do, the investment, as you say, it's all about providing a really strong return on investment for somebody, isn't it? And if you can reduce something that takes 6 months down to 1 month, that's an incredible business model and a huge asset for anybody to use you. So is the business, it's home staged company, isn't it? Is it just you, or is there a team behind you? How do you work?
So we have a small team based here in Bristol, and we also have contractors in various parts of, again, the southwest where we cover. So we tend to always use the same people, but they are sort of contractors. This has been our model just because of the large area we cover.
Yeah.
And it's just difficult to have a core team in just one place and get them to drive 3 hours and back. We've tried that, it didn't work.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So this is how we do it now, and it seems to be the right way forward.
So from your background as well, because I'm interested in how you got into this, because obviously you mentioned estate agents, you worked on cruise ships. What were you doing on the cruise ship then? Was that just one particular contract whilst you've had this business, or what was that particular that contract you had?
So I haven't personally worked on the cruise ship. It was just part of my job. We've done 2-3 projects as part of the contract, the commercial contract furniture supplier company I was part of, and it was just part of the design aspect. So we'd supply the specific sort of furniture that goes on
Okay.
to furnish the cruise ship, so that was really interesting.
Yeah.
But I came across staging when I was trying to sell a property in London, and that was just after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the property was tenanted, so we weren't getting any interest. It was very sort of stressful, frustrating, and I was looking into ways how I can actually get that property to shift, and we really needed it sold. And so when I was reading about staging, I just thought to myself, well, that surely needs to be part of every sort of sale, and I can make that happen, and I can be that person that can actually provide that service and make it a bit more affordable. And again, we're not aiming for the luxury market just because of my belief that a lot of other people should be able to afford it, and just the regular vendors and also estate agents as well. So some of them are now incorporating that aspect into their services actually. So they are the ones paying for the staging, and then that's included in their contracts.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's your win, isn't it? Basically, when it's incorporated in the fee. Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes the whole process a little bit more streamlined and easier for the vendors, so they don't have to deal with many different people.
Yeah.
But the estate agent just manages everything for them from start to finish. We work with quite a few actually private estate agents, so they are self-employed. They're very sort of proactive. They understand the value of marketing. They work with really good photographers and videographers at the same time as well.
Yeah.
So they'd market your property online or social media. They do really good sort of description and open days and that sort of thing. So there's so much more that people can do. It's not just list the property and hope for the best.
Yeah.
This is the old way of selling, and it doesn't work anymore. So that's where we are now.
No, I agree. And so you don't have an in-house photographer and marketing team as such then? You're using the experience of the estate agent in that case, because you can incorporate your cost into the fee, and the estate agent then can say to whoever's selling a property, look, actually, it's a one-stop shop, so we will market your property, we'll involve a home staging company, and if that becomes part of every process for every house sale, then that to me seems like a complete no-brainer and a brilliant business. I would use that if I was selling a property this afternoon. I would love that to happen, because a professional comes in like yourself and makes your home sale ready, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and this is definitely where the market's going.
Yeah.
We've had really good indication of that, and even if you look at things only 5 years ago when I first started in staging, things have just picked up so much since then, and things have changed, and especially over the course of the last say 12 months, we've just been getting so much interest and so many inquiries directly from vendors, which didn't used to be the case. And if you compare that process and that trajectory to what's happening in US, Australia, Canada, for example, things look very different. And nearly, I think it's something like 80% of houses get staged before they hit the market.
Wow, okay.
So well, and the staging
there's your proposition. Yeah, that's
and the staging industry, I was going to say, overall is only like 10 years old, so already the States is so far ahead of us, but actually things are happening here as well now, so which is great news for us.
Well, you are in something that I didn't really know very much about, and honestly, if I was selling a property, I wouldn't have considered it beforehand, but it's now about raising your profile, isn't it, and making it you need to become a thing where it's just a given that you use a home staging company. And I think everybody should, based on what you've said and what you do. It makes absolute common sense. If somebody's paying an estate agent, the estate agent says, right, part of our service is you have your home staged ready for sale. That's
correct.
Yeah.
I mean, and only if you think about it from a financial standpoint of view. We know from research for last year specifically, properties tend to spend 5 months on the market. Well, a sale tends to take 5 months altogether.
Yeah.
So if you just calculate your holding costs,
Yeah.
which roughly usually is about 1,000 a month, so
Yeah.
you're already 6k behind, and that's your standard, time.
Yeah.
Usually, the majority of properties don't get an offer within the first 30 days,
Yeah.
so that adds very quickly. It gets really expensive.
Of course. Yeah.
Versus your investment in staging is always less than 1% of your asking price.
Yeah.
So it's just, if you, even commercially, it really makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And interesting, you said that your focus at this stage is not to look at the luxury market as well. Is that something you would look at? Because surely the luxury clients, the bigger properties, and that if that was part of your remit as well, why have you specifically chosen to not go after the luxury market at this stage?
I mean, we can do, and we have done. I mean, we've staged any type, we generally stage any type of property.
Yeah.
We wouldn't turn down a project, obviously, that's a little bit bigger or at the high end of the market. It's just, I just saw a gap of, where we are now positioned. So this is why we wanted to help more people. And this is why our target market is now sort of mid-range properties.
Yeah.
But we've staged anything from £150,000 flats to, say, 2.5 million townhouses in London. So it's our goal is always the same, and it's strategic positioning of the property. So the charge or the fee will be completely different. The way we approach every project is we look at the target markets or the sort of buyer's demographic. We create almost like a persona for that particular buyer, and we think, what would they want to see in that property, and we try and deliver as much of those points as we can, so tick all of their boxes if we can, and then just hopefully we attract that particular person to come and view the property. So it's always the same process.
Yeah.
It's just obviously it's different furniture. It's the number of furniture provided and accessories obviously is different for bigger houses, etc. And we have flexible services. So for the bigger properties, we sometimes advise people not to stage the whole house. Sometimes just focusing on the main areas rather than the whole property is more beneficial. Because sometimes if you have 3 and above number of bedrooms, by the time your buyers get to the second bedroom, they have made up their mind already. So sometimes it's just cost versus how much we can get back. It's really important to acknowledge, to take into account.
So is your because I'm interested personally. This is an interesting. It's an interesting business model. So you, in order to grow, you want to, I presume, get your name in front of, is it every single estate agent, independent agent in the country, or just start across the southwest, and you need your name to be inside every single estate agent, don't you, basically?
Yes, I mean, predominantly we're focusing on the southwest at the moment, and also we love working with proactive estate agents, so it might not be for everyone, right? And sometimes it's just painful to see that actually vendors come to us directly rather than going through an estate agent, which just goes to show that the estate agent hasn't really looked into everything they could have done for that particular vendor, so they might have not even had that conversation with them, which I think is just a missed opportunity, because then the trust between the estate agents and the vendor is probably damaged a little bit as well. So you want to make sure your estate agent is proactively looking for ways to sell your property and put it in front of as many people as possible in any way they can. And I've recently came across a statistic showing that something like 79% of people won't even click on your listing online if they don't like the first image.
Is that right?
Which is just really scary.
Yeah, it is.
And you being a vendor, you want people to click on your listing, don't you? Because otherwise you miss out on, 79%. I mean, I didn't really expect it to be that high.
No, I didn't. Yeah. you almost you almost open yourself open to starting your own independent estate agent as well, don't you? As a
I
sideline,
mean,
you being the full offering, that would be
Yes, I've thought about that before. I'm
yeah,
not going to lie. I've actually
yeah,
considered it, especially like I worked in lettings before, and
yeah,
honestly, if I had some spare time in my hands, I would probably actually go out and do that as well. But it's
yeah.
just, it's a lot. So
It
yeah,
is,
one day
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
You never know.
then you are, a brilliant competitor to everybody else, aren't you? You can say, right, I will market your property, I will sale it, I will home stage it, everything basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's an end goal. So the with where you are, what kind of interesting projects are you working on right now? Then what's the main things you're working on at the moment?
So we've got a few going on actually. I have just started working on the design for a big Airbnb in Pembrokeshire. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
in Wales, and it's
Yeah,
part of a huge site that has a very interesting townhouse in the middle, and then a few outbuildings as well. It's
yeah,
got like a lake in between as well. So it's
nice.
absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
And we're starting with one of the outbuildings and then moving around to doing the other ones as well. So that involves the design, and then the furniture and staging as well. So that's really exciting
yeah.
for us. And then we've got a block of 26 flats going on in Blackpool. Again, Airbnbs, and then a few staging projects in the mix as well. So it's been a busy start of the year, luckily.
Yeah, 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 it has. And
Yeah.
um, I looked at your LinkedIn last week. Am I right in thinking that was it 2025? You were a finalist Entrepreneur of the Year for design. Was that right or something? If what was that about?
So I think that was 2024.
24. Yeah,
Yeah, we've got a few awards actually under our belts. The last one we won was last year with the Home Staging Association, and that was Best HMO Styling for
yeah.
a project completed last year as well. But yes, we really valued that one because
Of
obviously it
course.
was
Yeah.
industry specific. So being
Yes.
recognised by our peers
Yeah.
was huge for
Yeah. Yeah.
us. So, yeah, that was really nice to get. And yeah, we've got a few more coming up. We've got, we've been finalists at the Bristol Life Awards, so that's
Okay.
coming
Yeah.
up into this month.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Where does that take? Because I may because we were talking about meeting up, weren't you? I may come along with you. When is that? That is
That's in Ashton Gate, I
Ashton.
believe.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
26th or the 27th
Yeah.
of this month. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It'd be
good luck
lovely
with
to
that, and
see.
that's it's well, I also follow Bristol City for my sins as well, so it's
Yeah.
I go there a lot, but so I mean, how well you have done in this? Well, it's 5 years now, isn't it? You've done five from where you started to where you are today. The growth has been phenomenal, and obviously everything you've done to give exposure to the work that you do is clearly working. And the more you shout about the work that you do, and the more exposure you get, then the bigger. And I can see huge things for the business moving forward. You've achieved a great deal in this 5 year period, obviously. I think it's more about letting people know, because I would imagine, I don't know this is my only view, people probably imagine, as you said at the start of the conversation, wow, that's going to be expensive. It's going to be a large cost, and do I need it? So it's really educating people, isn't it? Rather than kind of marketing your services, it's saying actually you need it because of A, B, and C, and these are the benefits.
Yeah.
Most obvious benefit is the time spent of your property on the market. You can reduce, if you can show that you can significantly reduce that, then that is money saved, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, that's very true. And also, I just find that the way we sell properties in the UK hasn't really changed a lot over the past 15 years,
No.
whereas the way we buy property has. And
Yeah.
this creates a gap,
Yeah.
between vendors and buyers, and it's almost like a clash they don't really understand how to deal with. And until the market actually catches up, or the way we sell catches up, I think there's a few things that we can do when people are now realizing that, but also in terms of the cost. As I said, it's always less than 1% of your asking price.
Yeah.
And we've recently introduced a new service at the end of last year, and that's specifically directed to people selling ex-rental properties or inheritance properties, so predominantly 1 and 2 bedroom flats.
Yeah.
And we call that spotlight staging, okay? And it's a very affordable way to stage a property and have the package rental wise for 3 weeks. So that's usually sufficient time for your estate agent to take pictures, put the listing together, market it, and then get do an open day and get good few viewings within those crucial 2 weeks on the market. And then we go and collect the furniture. So again, it's a very inexpensive way of still get some of the benefits of staging. And if we've seen it working really well so far. The prices for that start at only $850 plus VAT. So again, it's very sort of a lower entry, and it really makes sense for smaller properties where you might, your profit might not necessarily be huge, but again, you want to be proactive and you still want to do something about the presentation. And also some other things are we've again recently introduced payment terms for business clients, so now they can spread the cost over 3, 6, 12 months, which is really helpful as well, and there are ways to still do it without really paying a big sum of money up front.
Well, it's something that honestly I probably wouldn't have previously considered, and now I most definitely will when I sell a property moving forward. And hopefully this podcast and the work that I share of yours and the articles that you write about, that will help raise your profile, because I'm certainly sold on what you do. And I wouldn't have been historically, because it's naivety, isn't it? I didn't know enough about it. I didn't know the cost involved. I didn't know what benefits it would bring. But this kind of half an hour conversation alone has kind of explained all that I need to know to say, yes, when I sell a property in the future, I would be a customer. And that's
so
all.
My job here is done.
It is done. Yes, that's it. Yeah. But that's what it's all about. It's letting people know, because everybody, certainly when you get to my age, you get stuck in your ways. I'm a 50-year-old man, and I'm like, no, that's the way I've always done it. That's the way it's to be done. End of. But you should quite rightly open your eyes up to other things, because things have changed. When I sold my first house 30 years ago, very, very different. There probably weren't home stage businesses around 30 years. Well, no, you said they're only 10 years old. Is that right? Yeah. So, it's become a thing, and it's a thing that's necessary because of that exact gap from selling to buying. There's that clear space in the market that it's just letting everybody know about.
Also, yes, I mean, something else that I'm just going to mention here at this point of the conversation is that I came across actually an official sort of research that Zoopla have commissioned back in 2024, and they use this eye tracking technology and tracked people during viewings and just measured what they were looking at. And surprisingly, a very small percentage of people would actually check things like the structure of the building or the boiler, the heating, or important things like that. But the majority of people were found looking at things like, mirrors, decorative items, furniture. A lot of people spend time in the garden looking at flowers and stuff, things that aren't even going to be there when you buy the property. And it's only natural, you just get drawn to, especially women, we like to touch and feel. So if there's like a nice chair, we want to touch it, see what the fabric's like and things like that. So the bottom line is just give people something to look at and touch and feel. And that's exactly the same feedback we get from photographers. They say the most difficult thing to photograph is just an empty room with just white walls, and the majority of new build properties are like that, unfortunately. And that's because there's just simply nothing to focus at. And you see so many images like that online, and they don't really stop the scroll.
Yeah.
You just come across the next one and the next one, and you just keep scrolling, and that's it. You just wasted the opportunity.
So actually then, new builds is a really good way, again, for you to get into, isn't it? Because a new build, so that's where we talked about the estate agent, but actually it's the property developer. That's when you need to be in with them as well, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, yes. And historically, this is why the bigger developers, they invest into show homes, and they compete on that basis as well. So who's going to do the best show home ever? And it's just really interesting to see how that's developing year on year, and it's just becoming more and more. They're willing now to spend more in order to get more, if that makes sense. So it's just, if they're doing it, people that do extensive research and they've been in the property industry for ages, if they're doing it, then there must be something about it. So
absolutely. Well, you're I honestly think, I get excited by things like this. I think that your business is going to explode. It really is. And I think that the work you're doing now, obviously I'm I would, if I had spare money, I would invest in your business, I think, because it's you're onto something, most definitely. I think it's the way ahead. And it's letting people know that it's the way ahead, and when they realise, then I think you really are onto something.
Yeah, thank you. That's lovely to hear.
You definitely are. Yeah, I mean, I've been around the block a bit. I know, I speak to architects every day, developers every day, interior designers, and your business is so very different, but so very necessary. And hopefully, this video alone, this conversation, will help raise your profile. And one day I'm sure you'll have your own TV program or something as well. And
I've heard that before. Actually, it's a really nice suggestion. I think I'd be open to that. Why not? You never know.
Well, that's exactly how these things go. And you become an influencer in your own right. You have your own television program because you're in the business that everybody needs, but not enough people know about at the moment.
Yes, that's very nicely put.
You're on to something, most definitely, and I will certainly do all I can within the Architecture Vogue magazine. We've shared some of your articles, and we'll continue to do so over the coming years. And I look forward personally to watching you grow and see the business flourish, because I've no doubt whatsoever that what's apparent to me is your kind of drive, your passion. Those things alone will make you succeed.
Yes, I mean, you can tell I'm definitely very passionate about it.
Yes.
It's just been a passion project of mine from the beginning. Now it's more, I look at it more as a business now, but it definitely started off as a passion project.
That's the very best way.
I'm glad that comes across. It
really does, and that's the key thing here. People, I know it's an old saying now, but people buy from people, and once people get to meet you and they realise the benefit you can offer, because at the end of the day, the buck stops at money, doesn't it? Everybody talks about money, and if I was to give you money, what will it do for me? But the benefits that you can provide far outweigh the cost. And when you say it's only 1% or less than 1% of the selling price, it's money. Absolutely, it needs to be a non-considered purchase, and that kind of level of fee is non-considered because the benefit it will bring in time on the market and so on and so forth is crucial, basically. So that's where you're at now. Yes,
definitely. And I just want to say thank you for all the work you've done, and featuring our articles and everything. It's been amazing to be part of Architecture Vogue, and we're very excited to continue to being part of the family. So
thank you.
It's been lovely.
Yeah, well done with everything. I know this conversation has gone, it's personal to me because of how I get passionate about seeing other businesses thrive, and you are most definitely onto something. So well done for what you've done to date, and congratulations in advance for what's coming up, because we will see you everywhere moving forward, I'm quite sure.
Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it. With your help, probably, yes.
Yes, well, I only charge a small fee, so yeah.
Exactly.
Joke,
So affordable.
Yes, anyway, look, thank you for coming on to the podcast today. It has been lovely to meet you, and as I've said, it's keep doing what you're doing because it's wonderful.
Thanks for inviting me. It's been a really enjoyable conversation, and looking forward to many more.
Thank you.